Wisconsin.
Yeah.
4-8, huh?
Mm-hmm.
4-8 last year. Missed a bowl for the second straight season. They went 0-5 on the road. They finished with one of the worst scoring offenses in power conference football. They decided to keep Luke Fickell. So this is the year. This got to be the year. Got to be the year. You got to make the jump or it's going to be somebody else in 27. And I think that's as clear as day. They did a couple things to try and facilitate that. First off, new offensive line coach, Eric Mateos, who comes up from Arkansas, did a good job while he was there, Arkansas. We've talked about the Arkansas offense. But the Arkansas offense was actually quite good.
They had the number one rushing attack in college football last season. Yeah.
So you'll take that. If he can, conjure up some of that magic, you'll take that if you're Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
They desperately need to get a little bit more push up front. That would be the whole catalyst for the Jeff Grimes RVO offense, Dan. RV, I know this isn't a new thing.
Yeah.
I know this is not a new thing. You can go back and he was doing this 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
When he was at Baylor. The reliable, violent offense.
Okay.
Which kind of sounds like AI slop. I assure you it is not. It is a real thing.
Yeah.
You need the line, though. You need the line. The offense starts now with a rebuilt line, and I think it extends out to Colton Joseph, their new QB1, who comes over from ODU. Hopefully a little bit of a deeper running back room, and hopefully a little bit more tight end involvement. I think that's what it looks. That's what the RVO looks like this year if you're Jeff Grimes, provided it all works.
Who's had some good offenses these past few years. Like since the Zach Wilson stuff at BYU, Baylor's had some decent offenses. I think he was only at Kansas for a year or so, but I mean, it was a disaster last year.
It was not good last year, but yeah, track record is there. I do think they landed a good one in Colton Joseph, the quarterback from ODU. So if you don't know his deal, dynamic runner, truly a dual threat guy. The risk with him is a 20% pressure to sack ratio while he was at Old Dominion.
Right.
What does that mean? That means for every 5 times he was pressured, he took 1 sack. You layer in that he also had 10 interceptions and 7 fumbles. Yada, yada, yada.
These are against Sun Belt defenses, correct?
As I said in part one,
Yeah.
the concern is you got a rebuilt line. You got a mobile quarterback who they're certainly going to put on the run with a recent track record for turning the ball over. And just Wisconsin as a whole has a problem with quarterback health. There is your downside. Okay, there is your risk. The upside is obvious because he can throw, he can run. They just have not had luck with transfer quarterbacks. So what it looks like up front with that line, what it looks like with respect to can they also, like we've discussed with a couple teams here, can they also get a little bit of balance on the ground? That I think is going to be overwhelmingly important to whether or not this project takes flight now with Colton Joseph at the helm.
There are pieces to this team, even pieces to this offense, that I could squint and see working. But I have to squint. But I like the hires. I like the transfers on the offensive line. I like that I can kind of see what they're going for.
Yep.
I like that they know they probably, if they get anything out of receiver, it's a bonus. There's so much unknown at receiver. They're like, okay, let's lock in on running the ball, tight end, the athleticism of Colton Joseph, figure out how to put him in a position to succeed, both arms and legs, whatever, limit turnovers. They're not going to be bombing it down the field. They're not going to be running the air raid like they had been trying to do previously.
Do you remember that? I remember talking about that with you. And
if
we were
Tanner
like,
Mordecai didn't get hurt,
I like Tanner Mordecai. I did like Tanner Mordecai.
But I like that they're going in a very specific direction with this wing and a prayer, I guess. The defense, we'll see. I think there are terrific pieces on this defense, especially up front. Maybe not along the defensive line, but edge and linebacker.
They
front
are kind
seven.
of reassembling themselves,
Right. At least like that middle of the defense at linebacker, and maybe they line them up at edge rusher or something. I'm fine with Wisconsin taking a step forward, but what does that actually mean for Luke Fickell?
Well,
what does that actually mean for this program? Like, are we putting in all this money, all this effort, all of these transfers for Wisconsin, who finally has some breathing room on a schedule, which, by the way, also starts at Lambeau Field against Notre Dame. Like, they still have to travel to Penn State in, I think, the first month of the season. They're traveling across the country to a UCLA team, but that might be more realized by the time they play. And then follow that up with SC, following that up at Iowa. And then the schedule opens up some more. But you're saying to yourself, okay, are they putting in this much effort into a year where they don't have, Ohio State, Oregon, or Indiana? But they do have Notre Dame, so they do have a playoff team in there. All this effort for 7-5, 8-4 to fully max out? I don't know. That's where I'm at with them. What's their number? What's their
what's
win
the cutoff
number?
What's
no, I'm asking you. What is it, like 6.5?
Here
for Wisconsin right now?
Yeah, right now Wisconsin's at 6.5.
Yeah. I think I have them at 7-5. I think they're a bowl team. If they win a bowl, does 8-5 say, okay, we're going in the right direction, let's keep spending? Wisconsin should never be a 7-5 program, in my mind. My history with them. It was a different Big Ten. It's a different time.
What's the cutoff for Luke Fickell keeping his job? How many wins?
I just don't think you can put this much money and effort into a program and not win 8 games.
So you think 8 wins.
Yeah.
8-4. 7-5 isn't good enough.
I don't think so.
7-5 would be progress, though.
It would be progress. But again, we're all shaped by how much better teams can get quickly. It depends, I guess, who the 7 are.
I also think it depends who else is out there.
Sure.
It depends who else is out there on the coaching carousel, because part of the reason why, and I believe this, I don't think Wisconsin made the move a year ago is because it was a very crowded field. And if you could avoid it, you never want to be in that situation where you're like the 5th best job.
Right.
You want to have your pick of the litter. So I could certainly see it in 2026. Let's say they get to 7-5. Maybe even it's a shaky 8-4. I don't know.
Great.
But I could
We've
see
seen a lot of shaky 8-4s in this sport.
I could see a situation where they're looking around to see who else might be gettable. And because I don't expect it to be as active a cycle in the coaching carousel, Wisconsin makes a move, even if they do a little bit better than they have in past years. I could see them making that move simply because they've got, better options with respect to where they go next.
Okay.
I've got them at 7-5 again, just like you do.
I'm at 7-5.
I could see anywhere between 6-6 and 8-4, but I'm going to go 7-5. I'll go right in the middle.
All right. We agree. Hey, just a quick thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel. We just could not do an independent year-round college football show without you, so thank you.
Welcome to the Solid Verbal. And now, Dan and Ty.